need to rewrite this draft of our future. Other way, others will do that for us.
We live in a world where everything is moving so fast and we get lost so many times.
If you want to do something new, failing is necessary and inevitably in everything you do.
I believe that future leaders should be more focused and present for their teams and focused on mindset rather than on the skills.
We should have in mind is when to actually step aside from a leader role and put that other person into the spotlight.
Through leadership, creates communities of trust, purpose, and courage.
The future leaders need to adopt AI.
Build trust from the human perspective and then use AI to scale. You don't build trust with AI. You stay with them, you take care of them, you talk with them, you put yourself in their shoes.
With empathy and by practicing kindness as a performance multiplier. Unless you start to learn every day like you never did before, it never happens. You're not going to be transformed.
So you have to be open for the new ways of doing things. People who will have this 10 years from now, they'll be successful as well. And I think most of the answer lies within people rather than outside of people.
Leaders creating other leaders. How should we shape the competent leaders of tomorrow?
I believe that future leaders should be more focused and present for their teams and focused on mindset rather than on the skills. Leading with empathy and purpose, it's really, really important for the teams. You know, when people know where they are going from the business perspective and why they are going in that direction, they will be on board. They feel that they are in the same boat with the leader. So I believe that it's really important. Communicate directly with transparency to achieve the goals that you want to achieve in your company. On the other hand, I think that technology, because it's here, we are surrounded by AI. AI is everywhere. The future leaders need to adopt AI. And what I think it's really important is that the leader should see what fits for his business, because there are so many solutions, so many different things in AI. He needs to drag that part of the AI that fits for his business. And last but not least, I think psychological safety. If the people from the company, from his team, feel safe to create healthy debates, to bring perspectives on the table, they all feel, as I mentioned before, in the same boat, and for sure at the end of the road they will multiply the success.
The old leaders, if they remain old, they don't create leaders anymore because the world has shifted. So I think now is just a question about how can we create a new environment where potential new leaders can create new patterns for the new buyers and the new clients and the new processes. So I see a lot of leaders right now, they are trying to copy-paste the same model, but in a new environment. I think now as leaders, it's the only time in history of leadership that we can step back and allow new leaders to grow in a different environment and mentor them to become the leaders of their generations.
To be very honest, I always thought, especially when I used to work in television, I always thought that leaders are the ones who are very strong. They have no weaknesses. They are perfect. So people will be inspired by that. But later on, when I started my own business and then I started developing myself, I realized that people are attracted by people who are humans, not by perfection. And I've learned that being a leader, it's showing who you are, showing your vulnerabilities, especially in business when people are looking up at you and thinking like, okay, that person knows everything. But just going there and showing that sometimes you don't know everything, but you are there together and you can create something. And what I've learned, especially in business, in my business, is that I give people space to grow and put the light on their strength so they can really, really develop, because this is the only way people can develop, can grow when they are pushed somehow, because sometimes they don't know which are their qualities, so they need to be pushed. So in my company, everybody has the space to grow and discover which are their strengths. So we can create leaders when we put the light on them and we lead by the example.
I would say instead of thinking about how to create leaders, it's about how to shape leaders, because I don't think we are actually able to create leaders. And one important thing that we should have in mind is when to actually step aside from a leader role and put that other person into the spotlight.
I think with empathy and by practicing kindness as a performance multiplier, I think it's important to empower people and give them autonomy to practice whatever they have as ideas and creativity. And it's super important to coach them all the time and stay close to them. It's important to give them real stretch mission, to give them fast feedback, and also to create some sort of psychology safety for them. Because this is how you foster innovation and creativity within people.
We take care of the leaders from today and we will think for them for tomorrow. What this means is that you stay with them, you take care of them, you talk with them, but most of the part, you put yourself in their shoes. Try to invest more empathy in these leaders. And what's the biggest problem, I believe, in that how you create the next leader is, first of all, you should think about yourself, how can you be a better leader so you can create more leaders? And so thinking about from this part, like, how can I be a better leader? This means that who is my leader? And from that part, okay, I have a leader, I am a leader, who is my apprentice so I can take care of them? And maybe it's a loop for which we should think about more deeply every day.
I think leaders, as we know, are, let's say, ignited, not made, not taught. What can we do as leaders for other leaders is to encourage them to have critical thinking, to ask hard questions, and sometimes to challenge the rules and maybe to rewrite them. So I think this is the future that we need, with leaders with a lot of compassion, with a lot of strength to challenge everything they know in order to grow.
I think that we can create better leaders by leading with authenticity and vision, because true leadership creates communities of trust, purpose, and courage.
So leaders for the future. Embed what is about continuous learning. And my thing that I understood after 15 years, that continuous learning, it's all about not the things that you don't know yet, but the things that you think you know, and it's already set like this. So you have to be open for the new ways of doing things, and I think this will solve even the problems intergenerationally.
Real leaders need to have vision, they have to be responsible, they have to be resilient, and you have to mentor them to face true opportunities and true challenges, due to the fact that at the moment they are responsible and you bring them to real decisions that you are taking, they are learning more. So it's our role to challenge them and to make them be future leaders.
I think it's very important to find the competent leaders of tomorrow. I think leaders are born and not necessarily made. I think you need to work with somebody's own material, let's say. And I think the main question is, how do we identify leaders? And leadership is, I think, mostly about responsibility. How do you find the people who want to be responsible? Not responsible only to business, but responsible to other people as well. Responsible to society, responsible to the business as well, but responsible as a whole. People who want to lead other people mainly. I think this is the questions. And once you find the people who want to be responsible, who want to lead other people, then it's a question about how do you shape them and how do you help them grow? How do you help them make the necessary mistakes in order to make them better?
How would you say the industry will look like in 10 years from now? And what should a professional try to learn to stay relevant for the future?
A very good question. In luxury, professionals must learn emotional intelligence and the art of storytelling. Because in our industry, in luxury, it's not just about a diamond's brilliance, but about the human story it carries.
If you had the same question 20 years ago when the laptop and the internet started, maybe a big part of the crowd would say only laptops and only internet. It will be a thing of its own. And I think AI is going to be a next level of human plus AI interpretation of processes. I'm not afraid of AI. I think without AI, the organization will be just slower. The same way as we made a step from writing on papers and now we are calculating faster in Excel. But it's just the speed that is accelerating in business, not the rest of the things that matters.
It's a very good question. Why? Because we are now triggered by AI. So they have to be a little bit digital fluency they need to have. They also have to be responsible, but most of the things that I think they are gathered together to make them good professionals, it's to be emotional intelligence to have. Why that? Because they need to understand the needs of the customer, otherwise they cannot serve them. Also, they need to see how resilience comes from all of this due to the fact that they need to see all the changes that are coming every day, because if they cannot face the changes, they cannot do anything in the future.
I'm working in the healthcare industry, so I believe this is one of the fast-changing industry lately. I will say three things. First of all, keep on learning, because things are evolving, changing. And if we are referring to the healthcare professionals, no matter if you are referring to the doctors, the nurses, the operational or the commercial staff, we need to be updated to the news to see what's going on in the business. Secondly, I will say also AI, because AI, it will be part of our lives starting now on, no matter if you want or will embrace it or not, it is here. So we in Regina Maria started already to implement AI tools. We have in our imaging department a soft that helps the doctors collect the information based on some algorithms. With the help of this soft, the doctors, have all the information that they need much faster. And of course, the final diagnosis and conclusions are on the doctor's table, but it's really important, to have these kind of tools to improve patient experience. And nevertheless, because I've mentioned patient experience, I believe in our industry is the most important thing, how you improve the patient experience, how you do things better. And we are really focusing on that. We put the patient in the center of our business, and we started in the last years to develop different types of streams to gather feedback. We have the review for the doctors. We have different lines from where we collect feedback from the patients, because we need to hear their voices and see what it's okay, it's going well, and what is not, and to see how we gather all the resources and put them in that direction to better and increase their experiences.
For me, being in marketing and technology industry, it's easy. It's AI. So, but I think for any other industry, even if it's retail, e-commerce, health, education, or whatever, it's important to learn how to dance with AI, not to run from it. So this is one thing that I think it will be very relevant in the future, because, right now we have tools. We have a lot of tools. We have, but we don't know how to use it. And we need to, to synchronize every tool that we have in AI with humans, not only AI and only humans. And we need to create some hybrid organization, human plus AI. Let's say in the future we had successful companies that had this type of layers, dreamers and doers. And now I think we need to add one more layer, that it's AI, in order to have this successful organization and to have this, power within data, but always a decision should remain in human.
In marketing right now, everybody's talking about AI. AI is here, AI is there, and we totally understand. The biggest problem with AI in marketing right now is that you don't build trust with AI. You scale with AI. So what marketers should do, build trust from the human perspective and then use AI to scale. But then in the future, we will see that the biggest and the better marketing you can do is the one that you create more memorability in your client minds and with their experience. So what, as I see in 10 years marketing, is that it will be more human touch, more human driven, more expensive, but then you should scale with AI in a larger part.
I think we should be friends with AI right now if we haven't done it. I think we should learn how AI works and how it can help us. For example, if we are talking about businesses, AI can actually help you analyze your business and, assess every risk that you might have in the future. So we can ask right now, AI, what would be the greatest risk that we can have with our business, and we can try to work on this. I don't believe in this kind of business plans, long-term business plans. I think we need to adapt. We need to learn very fast, and we need to react, test, learn, fail, and test again.
I will talk for my businesses. I mean, the lines of businesses that I do. It's fashion and wellness. We need to adapt. It's very important to adapt, especially with AI. And we saw this in the presentations. If we do not adapt, we're going to die. So we always have to keep this to see what's happening and adapt. And another thing that I see is very important is the consciousness. And I see this in presentations and I see it everywhere. People are not buying products anymore because there are so many products everywhere. There are so many choices, and the more choices we have, the more difficult it is to choose. People are buying stories and they're buying products that they make them feel good, because actually people want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to feel important. And especially, for example, in my workshops, they come there because they want to feel seen and they want to feel important, because we live in a world where everything is moving so fast and we get lost so many times. So we want to be in a place where we are seen and we can have a connection with the people that we get in contact. And related to the products, yes, people want to buy products that they make. They want to buy the story and the emotion that they feel when they're using that product. For especially in my business, they're buying also the experience. They like the experience that they have when they're purchasing the products, even if it's in the shop. They wanna feel something. So I think it's adaptability. It's very important, and consciousness.
I think it's important to put things into context. I'm a marketeer, and in our business, I think it's super important to master the AI. We just heard a talk about AI. And I think right now, we as marketeers should be the AI co-pilots, because AI gives us, templates about strategy, about prompt craft, about data literacy. But I think it's super important with our human knowledge and with our human touch to sharpen storytelling and pitching, to deepen the customer psychology, to better understand what do they expect, which a robot will never be able to give it to you. So be the best AI co-pilot.
My background is in sustainability, especially construction. I really think that we're going to print the buildings that we're going to look upon. Everything is energy efficient and time efficient. I think we're going to start building houses in less than 30 days. We are not going to own the houses anymore. We're going to share the houses, and I think we're going to have more prepared engineers, architects, that they will all work together as a whole, multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. So things will change for sure.
I don't know how the industry will shape up. I don't know how it will look. But if we're speaking about work, I think there's some common denominators that have been true through the ages, and things that were true maybe 10,000 years ago and 2,000 years ago and maybe 100 years ago, but also 5 years ago, I think will still ring true 10 years from now. I think mostly it's about attitude. I think it's about this idea that you can do anything you want. If you put your mind to it, you can achieve it. I think it's about positivity and a good outlook towards the world and trust in other people. And most of all is about creating relationships and forging them and building them between people, not necessarily with technology. So I would say that people who have these things today are successful. I think people who will have this 10 years from now, they'll be successful as well. And I think most of the answer lies within people rather than outside of people.
Tell me one big idea that you take from Brand Minds this year.
There were a lot of ideas this year, but I think the most important one is that we need to write our future by choosing the right path. And this is not, like a theoretical thinking. It's a doing process every day. And it was something very inspiring yesterday from Felipe Gomez. I think everyone is telling this. But for me, it was very important because I didn't hear this word virtuosity for a long time. So I think we need to rewrite this draft of our future, because others will do that for us. But with this virtuosity, this means that we need to write the future with the mastery, with the passion, and of course, humanity in everything that we do.
I'm coming every year to Brand Minds because I know that growth and transformation are together. They are connected. So unless you start to learn every day like you never did before, it never happens. You're not going to be transformed, because otherwise you will become a person that thinks that knows everything and they don't need anything. And I think Brand Minds does such thing to us.
I think the main thing that I've heard in many presentations, of course, is not over, but it's about connection. It's about empathy. It's about presence, because as I was saying, we live in a world that everything is moving so fast. Everybody has his own way, going there and becoming so isolated. But actually, when you become grounded and you become present, you can choose what you want because you connect with yourself. And here is actually where everything is happening. It's like an anchor that keeps you grounded. And then from that place, you can develop, you can grow, you can create, you can do whatever you want. And also help leaders become more courageous and courage. So there are three things: presence, empathy, connection, and courage.
So far.
Yeah, and adaptability. Yeah.
In Romania, we started to talk about failing and failures a few years ago. I'm an expert in failing. I failed 4 times. But I think now we have to make a step further, not just talking about failing and understanding that is natural, but embracing and understand that if you want to do something new, failing is necessary and inevitably in everything you do. So I think the way we perceive failing has to change. And I hope this will change in Romania in order to innovate, because otherwise all we do is copy-paste what we have done in the past.
I think it's super important to understand that leadership nowadays means leading with empathy and with a lot of human warmth, but also knowing how to master the intelligent systems, the AI, because people expect to get in touch with brands that make them feel something, that transmit that warmth. And it's important to keep iterating faster than the market nowadays, to master the AI strategy, but putting a human-centric leadership and marketing approach.
I just watched David, and I think I'm going to pay more attention about my health, and I'm going to research quite a lot on longevity, because I think this is a really important topic that we need to have in mind. I mean, we want to be smarter, we want to build relevant businesses, but if we don't look at our health and our healthy habits, well, we might not get there in the end. Another important thing that I learned here is from John Aguilar, because he was mentioning about the importance of having and building a strong personal brand, even if you are an employee in a company. So most people would think, maybe if I'm a content creator, I should do so. But no, even if you're an employee, even if you are an entrepreneur, you need to build this and build it like very strong.
So I took some ideas right here, and everybody had let's say, a pattern from my perspective. From every speech, I took the importance of knowing your audience. This is very important. How do you know your audience? And when I'm talking about audience, I'm not talking about the Facebook people or the Instagram people or the newsletter people or clients. I'm talking about audience like your team. Who's your audience? Who's your team? I'm talking about like everybody is having an audience right now. So who is your audience and how deep you know your audience so you can talk with them, connect with them, create the next leaders and just like build a meaningful world for them and for yourself.
I definitely like Felipe Gomez. Yesterday it was all music, and the metaphor with the music, it was fantastic. Even though he presented us simple things that we already knew, the way he put the music on top of it, it was really amazing. And it was that question, what music you are bringing in the room when you enter in the meeting room, when you are going home to your family, what's your music like? And this is the question that, remain in my brain afterwards. I was like going home yesterday and I was thinking about it, and I believe it's fantastic because this is what it is when you are in a team, you are in a family, you are in a business context. You need to think how you refer to others and others refer to you in terms of connection, of how you do things with passion, with being there from all the points of view.
We at Taylor think that the future belongs to brands and leaders that dare to combine ambition with courage, success with purpose, and growth with humanity.
I think it's all about connections and keep up with the trends, understand what's happening right now, understand what's going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years, and try to talk to people. It's not all about the people on the stage. It's about the people that are joining the Brand Minds event. For me, it's a second year, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be the next one and as well. And I can't wait to see some other colleagues and future colleagues in here.